Hey everybody, I apologize again to for all these technical difficulties with my computer and stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I think I'm gonna have to stick here for a while using my phone to record. So let's get into the topic. Yeah, so I do have a rare condition. First, I'm gonna ask a few questions about you guys, like how are you guys doing? Um, or I heard the coronavirus is taking over the U.S. and all that kind of stuff. So it's really bad. I've heard a couple of my friends getting sick. So stay indoors and don't leave the house. Stay home. Where is everybody? I'm gonna invite some people. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I just invited a couple of people on Snapchat. I only made a few changes here and there, like I don't know. I arranged some things. Yeah. Just waiting for them to show up. I really feel dumb that um, that my plan to broadcast didn't work out. So yeah. So the coronavirus is really a serious thing. I mean, people have died from it, mostly senior citizens, but I've heard in an article some teenagers don't really have an effect on the virus, so you don't have to worry, but you still have to, you know, wash your hands. Try not to touch your face at all. I've already washed my hands like over 3 times, so I don't have to worry. So yeah, and I was expecting a lot of people to show up, but I can see that there's only one person watching, so and it's okay. I'm just waiting for people to show up. So yeah, and this is gonna be something very serious. This is I'm only gonna share this to you guys once and never again because this is really something personal to me, and I want you guys to probably have a better understanding if you can. So I've also wrote it down in case if I forgot. So forget. I got my tea. Should I start? You tell me, because I'm not gonna start until everyone else comes. So, um, how about I tell you guys about myself? I started YouTube back in 2013, and I haven't uploaded anything until 2015. I didn't know what I wanted to do for my life, so I thought, why not make videos instead? Because people are people are making a living. I see them very happy and all that kind of stuff. It's fun to be who you want to be. It really is. So, yeah. I remember my first live broadcast playing lasagna of the PewDiePie. It got like over 300 views. So I miss those times, like, subscribing to PewDiePie and stuff like that. But then other stuff comes out of nowhere, and other people are, you know, Christchurch shooter and stuff like that. It's crazy. So hope that never happens to anyone, like, with a higher channel like PewDiePie's. Like, like it's not right. Where is everybody? I might as well start, because this is really serious stuff. So here's what I wrote. I wrote, "Hi everyone, I want to talk honestly and serious about what I'm about to tell you. If you guys can't handle it, then I suggest you watch something else. This video that I'm going to share with you is about something that I had to grow up with in my childhood. The loneliness, the suffering, and letting things go. It's kind of sad, but it can be meaningful to some of you guys. This is something that I haven't told anyone for a long time, and I've been keeping it to myself personally. I always kept it. I always kept it to myself because I wanted to be cool and I wanted to fit in with other people. So I started off what I remember in my childhood. It was a really long time ago. I was the new kid in first grade. My parents told me to get good grades, make new friends in class. I tried, but I couldn't. Whenever they talk about something, I tried to relate to whatever they're talking about. At the gym, I ask someone, like, do you want to play? And they said no, and all the time I would just play by myself. It also showed in middle school. I didn't really have a lot of friends. So, and where's this going? I don't think I told you my symptom. I have Aspergers Syndrome. And what is Aspergers Syndrome? It affects my social challenges, my communication difficulties, and my repetitive behavior. My condition sometimes ruins into my family as well. It affects on guys and girls, mostly guys. I had trouble sometimes making conversations, maybe reading body language, and understanding relationships. And these are kind of stuff that I had to face through my life. So I do have a hard time reading body language, but when I think about someone who thinks about something else, my reaction is different in a way. So when you guys say stop, I say go, and then when you say right, I say left, and it's really weird. And then understanding relationships. I'm not going to tell you how many relationships that I've been in, but I've broken up with so many relationships, like, several times. So it's kind of sad. So it sucks that I have Asperger's syndrome. Really, it's like autism, but it's not autism. It's like comparing a duck to a platypus. They're related, but they're not the same animals. That's exactly my condition. And I've made a few knowledge online, like other people who have Asperger's syndrome, and they've gone through like a few challenges, like, how are they gonna live, like, who is gonna be their friends, who's gonna look up to them, and it's kind of sad. Hey man. So Asperger's syndrome is really a serious thing, and I've been living with it for the rest of my life. So it's really sad. It really, really is sad to not communicate with people and to not interact socially outside of class or inside of class. It bothers me. It really does bother me. Like for an example, when you're in a planet, okay? This is my planet. And then millions of people are in that planet, especially me. I'm the thumb. And then there's like a couple of rockets, they take off, and then you're stuck here, knowing that you didn't exist. That's exactly how I feel. Okay, so back to my childhood story. So my parents wanted me to look for friends, get good grades. I had good grades. I wanted to participate in other clubs, but really I'm just the shadow of everything. And what do I mean by shadow of everything? I mean, like, people don't even know my name. I wasn't big in the yearbook. I never had many friends. I was never a popular kid. And for some reason, I didn't remember when I grew up or even existed. I remember this one kid told me he had over 100 friends. I think he was lying because those friends were on Facebook. So, I was bullied a lot and completely ignored. And I remember on other times when I tried to be on their team, they still said no. And people started to see it. People started to see, you know, my condition. Like, why isn't this person with anyone? And what was my deal? What was my problem? I didn't have a problem, but it's just some people out there. I was being picked on and tried to defend myself. I got into everyone else's attention, and I was once to blame for their mistakes. I was, and people used to call me um, a lot of things. They would call me gay. They would call me a bully sometimes. They would call me all these kinds of things. It's not true. I just wanted to make friends. I was a very shy kid. I didn't know what was coming to me, so I forgive myself. Really. If you haven't known, I had trouble making conversations with new people. I would talk to them and say hi, hello, how are you doing? Most of the time they would just completely ignore me or wouldn't even know um who I am. You probably never seen me in your class, in your club, or even at your party. Let's take for example a planet. I already set the example, so if you were just this one person in the planet with no one else knowing who you are, that is exactly how I feel every single day. Feeling alone 24/7. It just it's sad. It's very sickening. I remember I had to take special classes from elementary school and middle school, so I could slowly build up my energy and try and interact with other people. I've improved, but sometimes I just didn't work. It just didn't work out. So I didn't feel like I was in their circle, a team, or a group. Early in high school, little by little, I started to see some improvement. I had friends. They looked up to me. I had people who wanted to be like me because I was good at something that I loved doing, like being a captain in cross country and playing the guitar with some people. But those days are over. My In high school, it's very limited. Like, after a few years, you're gone and people don't know your name. People wouldn't even know who you are because you left high school years and years ago. Maybe the teachers know, maybe they don't know. I don't know. But this is something that I had to go through, and it's pretty. It got me upset, a little depressed. So I don't want this. condition to feel, to have effect on my life, really. It's very, very sad. I don't know if anybody has this condition, Asperger's Syndrome, but it's a really serious thing. I'm gonna look it up for more information. So here it is. It's related to autism, but it's not really autism, because I've had people with autism. They don't want to interact with other people. They're happy with themselves. They're optimistic. They're happy in their own way. But then when somebody has Asperger's Syndrome, they want to interact with other people. They want to fit in. They want to succeed in life. So here's what Google says. Asperger's Syndrome is a condition on the autism spectrum with generally higher functioning, and people with this condition may be socially awkward and have an all-absorbing interest in specific topics. Communication training and behavioral therapy can help people with the syndrome learn to socialize more successfully. That's exactly me. Fewer than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. Requires medical diagnosis, lab tests, or imaging. Rarely required. So, I didn't shed a tear because, I don't know. I just don't care anymore, but I really should care, because, it's just who I am. It really is. Do you guys have any questions? Free to speak if you guys want to. Because I'm just gonna wait. I feel like every time when I'm in class, or every time when I'm in a club, you feel like you're left out, and you feel like no one likes you anymore, and you feel like the world has given up on you. But I choose not to give up to the world. I choose to go out and talk to people as much as I can, because you never know. They might be good people, there might be bad people, there might be people who you don't even like. They might not even like you. I've met people who don't even like me. And you know what they said? Go F yourself. And you know what they say? Say to me, don't talk to me. Or, I know where your class is. I know where your locker is. I know everything about you and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? Ignore them. Because if you're a person like me with this condition, don't let anyone bother you. And don't let anyone tell you different. Because really, it's very, very sad. So, people with Asperger's described 4 strikingly similar young patients. They had normal to high intelligence, but they lacked social skills and had extremely narrow interests. The children also shared a tendency to be clumsy. So, I can be clumsy sometimes. I remember in elementary school, I used to goof a lot and mess everything up and not have words to say to the teacher. And guess what happened? The teacher decided to move me to a class that I can try and fit in. And I guess that helped me. I was really left out. It really, 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 really sucks. But on a scale of 1 to 10, with my autism scale, I'm like 3 out of 10. So I don't really have autism 100%. I can do everything socially. I can walk by myself at home. I can hang out with friends who actually do look up to me and maybe drive a car. But I don't know. I really don't know anymore. And now with this coronavirus, my nose has been really, really stuffy. People are getting sick. I can't believe it. So I'm gonna start watching videos. It's loading. Damn it. I thought this was gonna be a YouTube video of people talking and... Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Aspergers Syndrome. Great, it's another ad.
Try it free. People who are all exhibiting different. So Asperger's syndrome, it's difficult to boil down to a single thing because what it comes down to is that your brain is, for lack of a better term, wired differently than other people's. And Asperger's syndrome is a specific brain rewiring that has a bunch of different effects, and it manifests in a bunch of different ways. But I would say that the most important manifestation of Asperger's syndrome is the inability to learn social skills through osmosis. Most children, when they grow up, humans are social creatures. They run into other people, and those people try to socially interact with them, and they just sort of build up a library of social protocol, what to do in certain situations through osmosis. They just absorb it gradually as they grow up. People with Asperger, whatever mechanism is responsible for
I'm just watching a video of Asperger's
it doesn't work
because
as well. And so because of that, we often
I have
grow up,
Asperger's syndrome,
not
if you
knowing
haven't
how
known.
to interact with others socially. And because of that, we often end up being seen as the weird kids, and that's not necessarily...
Hey, what happened? I gotta cancel this, okay?